How did classic 80s NES games handle flicker? Have you ever wondered why some classic Nintendo Entertainment System games had that unique flickering effect? It all comes down to the limitations of the hardware. The picture processing unit of the Nintendo Entertainment System could only display a maximum of 8 sprites per horizontal scanline. When more than 8 sprites appeared on the same line, the system had to make a choice about which ones to show. This resulted in the flickering effect that many players remember fondly. Game developers were quite clever in how they approached this challenge. They designed sprite placement and animations to avoid overlapping too many sprites on the same scanline. For example, in platformers like Super Mario Bros., developers spaced out the characters and objects to keep within that 8-sprite limit. This careful planning helped reduce flicker and made the gameplay experience smoother. However, in scenes with lots of action or many moving sprites, flicker became more noticeable. The system would cycle through the sprites, and players could see some of them disappear and reappear quickly. This flickering was not a flaw but, rather, a creative workaround to the hardware's limitations. It became a recognizable feature of many Nintendo Entertainment System titles. The flicker effect was a trade-off that allowed for smoother animations and gameplay despite the system's limited graphical capabilities. It added a certain charm to the games, showcasing the technical creativity of the time. The flicker became part of the identity of 1980s Nintendo Entertainment System games, reflecting how developers pushed the console's hardware to its limits. Additionally, the picture processing unit used object attribute memory to store sprite data. This memory had to be updated carefully during the vertical blanking interval, which is the brief moment when the screen is not being drawn. The timing of how the picture processing unit refreshed this memory also played a role in how sprites were rendered and managed. From a nostalgia perspective, flicker is a hallmark of the gaming experience from that era. It reminds players of the early days of home video games when developers had to come up with inventive solutions to hardware restrictions. Instead of detracting from the gameplay, flicker often added to the distinctive look and feel of Nintendo Entertainment System titles. This unique visual characteristic has contributed to the enduring appeal of retro games among fans today.